your BI development needs starts with identifying the report and analytical needs. What kind of reports we need and what kind of analytics we need. So in yesterday's session, we were discussing about the some 5 decisions that you need to take, and we have now discussed the balance scorecard and the KPIs that you want to use. So it will help you to under. So once you have done this exercise, means you have done your balance scorecard, it will help you to understand what kind of reports and analytics you need in order to understand that your objectives are being met. So the first process is to develop the reports and analytical needs. What is the main objective, main analytics that I want to keep a track? So where are you going to get that? You are going to get that from your balance scorecard, and from your balance scorecard you will understand the objectives, the overall company objectives, then departmental objectives, and also it will help you to understand your main analytics, what you need in order to that you want to keep a track of, and what metrics are important for you. What is the information, where is that particular information coming from, and then determine your primary needs, and then you start your building your strategy from there. So basically that this 4 lines means that first you will need to identify your vision, mission, and your goals, your strategies, and then from there you will define your balance scorecard, i.e. objective for your each and individual perspective, which will give you the ideas or the primary metrics that you want to understand from each individual perspective, each individual department perspective. And then you will go on to see where that information, where I will get that information. Let's say if you want to say my profitability should be about 25%. So where are you going to get that information? Anybody? You will get this information
from the budget and the P&L.
From the P&L and from the budget, right? And then if let's say I say your strategy is that, oh, I want to get my customer, I want to have a customer retention of 50-80%, as you said. So where are you getting that information from?
From the customer profile, basically. So
you
from
may
the
have
sales.
you may have a CRM system, or you may have a sales system where you are going to get that information, right? So basically you may have one ERP which is giving you the everything, or you may have different systems for different purposes. For example, in hotels, if we say our online score should be, let's say, 4.5 out of 5, where are we getting that information? We are looking at the online platform. They already have done the survey, so we are just monitoring that information. So we need to identify where that information is going to come from, and how we are going to ensure that the data we are getting is correct, right? Like Umar was asking earlier, that how we know that is correct, where we will know this is correct or wrong. So we need to have the process to understand this data that is being reported by the managers, reported by the sales system, reported by the CRM, or the online data is correct and is reliable. And then you will start to build a system around to say, okay, how we are going to collect data, how often we are going to collect the data. So there is a template that I will show you slightly later on. And then you will need to research on the KPIs, on the industry KPIs like sales, ROI, profit margin, because you need to benchmark, right? You may have your analysis, you may have your reports, but how you're going to compare that is good against what? So you may need to have your own industry KPIs, your industrial KPIs, and then based on your own understanding of your company objective, you may need to determine your own benchmarks or your own KPIs against which you are going to measure your performance. So that's the thing. And you may have your company custom KPIs, which are the company specific matrices that you will keep a track of. And then you need to set up them early in the beginning when you are developing your balance scorecard. And then you will be using the historical data for the purpose, so that you can keep an eye on what has happened and what is going to happen. So this is a normal panel, one page strategy that is used for the one page for the business intelligence. So here you will see on the first, sorry, on the first you are saying there's a separate panels, is like similar to your balance scorecard, which is having a customer panel, having an operational panel, finance, and your resources, means your employees and your other resources. So basically what you are going to do is you're identifying your purpose, your mission, and your ambition, your vision. And that from that you will say, okay, who is my target? What kind of customer I'm going to target? What is my value proposition? What is it I'm going to do? Serve on the quality, serve on the price, serve on the innovation, serve on the relationship. What I'm going to do? What is my operations? How I'm going to um, carry out my operations, my what are going to my internal competencies, my best practices, what is where I'm best known for. Is it my partnership? Is it my core competency? I'm good at developing the services, I'm good at generating the demand, I'm good at serving the customers, I'm good at F&B, I'm good at the check-in, I'm good at the marketing. Every company has their own operational efficiency or core competency. So the company need to identify that. And then you have your finance objectives, how I'm going to deliver my finance results, what kind of result that I want to understand, and what kind of resources I will be using in my operations, IT, infrastructure, peoples, and culture. And then what is my competition? So this one page document will give you a very good understanding of what the company need to focus on before they are making a balanced scorecard, or they are going to develop the KPIs for their individual balanced scorecard. Any questions about this one page strategy for business intelligence? You can have a separate, I mean, different formats, but the idea is to cover at least these practices: your customer panel, your operations, your resources, your finance, and the competition, and your own vision and mission. Any questions, sir?
I think almost everything covered. I have not seen any
Yeah,
more. Everything covered overall. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. And then once from you have developed this, then you are going to define your key performance question. So the idea is not the key performance indicator. You cannot reach the indicator directly unless you define your performance question. So what is the performance question look like? A performance question is a management question that exactly captures what the managers need to know when it comes to each of their strategic objectives. So for example, if you want to know that your maybe goal is to have the best customer service, right? So your key performance question could be what? How well are my customers happy with me, right? That may be a question that you are gonna ask when you are going to define the strategy. So there's a strategy to, let's say for example, strategy is to increase your income by focusing on the most profitable area of your business. So that's the strategy, right? Now the question is, where are we making the profit and which process is the most costly compared to the returns we receive? So that's the performance question. So this is the example of a key performance question that you may be asking. If your strategy is to increase the income by focusing on the most profitable area, so now you are going to, where are we making the profits and which process is most costly? So the strategic goals, for example, in another example of goal is to teacher development. For any school, they are doing teacher development programs, and they identify the question as to what extent we are offering the teachers development that we want. And a further question is, to what extent are we training more teachers? So these are the questions that the companies are asking in different. So you start with a question, not with an indicator directly. So as we see in the previous dashboard, we have seen directly the indicators, right? Which Pushpika shared and Nuvan also shared. We saw the objectives, we saw the indicators, but we didn't see that the question. What is the question that the company is going to ask? So the idea is, once you have defined your your purpose, your customer, your mission, vision, and your strategy documents. Then you will go, then you will be asking about the key performance question. What kind of question the company is or you are going to ask as a manager from yourself, so that then you will be able to answer it as a indicator. Is it still confusing?
Now,
This,
this the key indicators questions can be arise from the business planning development process as well, right?
that's right. The key performance question will arise from the business plan when they are
Mm.
developing the business plan. You are right.
And usually when they do the bottom up or the from the top to down, so what will be the best practice like for these kind of questions to be arise?
Yeah,
It can be a bottom up.
yeah. It's normally done top down. Means top down means that I will show you the format. Let me here. So this is a KPI development framework that I used in teaching my in my teachings. Is that there are two examples that we are giving. So it's a top down means you have to identify your strategic goal. So let's say there are two examples. Let's look at them one by one. So the first example of the strategic goal is to grow the customer satisfaction. So it's a customer perspective, right? And then so what is the audience means who is going to look at it? Board of directors or and the marketing team is going to be the key audience who is interested in this goal. Now the performance question related to this goal is to what extent our customers are satisfied with our services. That's what we want to know, because our goal is to grow the customer satisfaction. So a natural question is to what extent our customers are happy with our service, right? Or you can ask any other
Yeah.
question.
Just maybe a question. So see, any business plan, we have two aspects as per my understanding. One is the numbers
Yeah.
which we likely to achieve,
Yes.
and the next is how we achieve that.
Strategy.
Suppose customer, yeah, strategy, or to go market, we call
Yeah.
generally.
Hmm.
And so like customer satisfaction is the process, the steps, and by achieving that we could achieve that numbers.
Yes.
So this KPI, which it should includes both the results as well as the activity.
Yes, that's right. So basically, when you are developing your business plan, your annual business plan, you will say, okay, these are going to be my strategies. So numbers never come first. In a business plan, you always have your strategies first, right? You say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do with on the trading. This kind of technology developments I will do this year. We will do this kind of marketing or customer acquisition, new markets, or everything else. As a result of all those activities, these are going to be my numbers, right? So that's one way of doing the business plan. The another way of doing the business plan is that your directors or your company has say, okay, you need to achieve 25% increase in the profit. That's your target. Now you develop your own business plan, so you will work backwards. Say, okay, if I want to achieve 25% increase in my profit, how much revenue I need to make? If let's say this is how much revenue I need to make, what kind of marketing I need to do, what kind of new markets I need to search. So it can work in both ways. It can work backwards, means you are given a target to reach that target, or you define yourself first. What would you like to do in the next year, keeping in mind the market, keeping in mind the customers, keeping in mind the competitors, and then your financial numbers will derive from what you want to do, right? So these are both the ways. But in any case, you will end up with two parts of the business plan. One is the strategies, one is the numbers. So what you will achieve
So
from your
generally,
strategies. Yes.
generally it works top to bottom. Means First, that numbers they have decided, and then how to go about it.
Yeah, in some organizations it works the other way around. They
But
define the
yeah,
strategies, and then the
correct.
numbers is just a result.
Right.
We used to do this top to bottom on the initial stage of setting up in here.
Yeah,
Then what we faced the problem was like every time when we review the result, oh, this is a target received from the top.
that's right.
So this is
So
not the same as the market. So then gradually we turn this one from bottom up.
yeah,
So then there is no more excuses because the plan is coming from the HODs,
yeah.
and there is no more any excuses or anything because that's their planning. So that's they have to work out.
Well, that's the idea.
Correct.
That's the problem with the top to bottom is that you
Correct.
have no accountability, because the person will say the target came from the top. I cannot do anything. You asked me to do it. So if I'm not able to achieve, I'm not accountable. But when
Correct.
it
Correct.
comes bottom to up, means you define your activities first and the number is derivation, then you have no excuse. You cannot say, oh, why you didn't achieve it, because you are not able to achieve it because of your own areas. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
would have to tell us before, right? So,
Correct.
but ultimately, it will come back to the same situation that you will have one strategy part and one is the numbers part. So let's say one of your strategic goal is to grow the customer satisfaction. So now the performance question which normally a manager will ask is, to what extent our customers are satisfied with our services. Now you ask the questions, but how you are going to measure it? So that's what you need, an indicator. How will and won't this indicator be used? What is the indicator? So this indicator will be used to assess and report on our customer success internally, and it will not be used to assess the performance of the individuals or determine the bonus payment. So you are saying that how is it going to be used? Not the primary thing to decide, but this is important to decide. Then the next thing is you need to
That's
define is the indicator name. How you are what you are going to call this. So the company has said, okay, I will call it as a net promoter score. In this case, you will say,
that's
okay,
challenging sometimes.
huh?
That's challenging sometimes. That's challenging sometimes. This measurable indicator,
Yeah,
because numbers are easy, but these are slightly sometimes challenging
yeah, yeah.
unless you have a proper systems.
Proper system, yes. So the indicator name is, let's say, net promoter score. So then you will define how I'm going to collect the data. So the data is collected using a mail based survey. Now you can have a different way of collecting the data. You can say here that I will not be doing a mail based survey. We will be doing an online survey, or I will be using the TripAdvisor data, or I will be asking the customer when they are leaving my store after doing the purchase. I will be asking them the feedback at the point of exit. I will just ask them how do they rate the score. So not a mail based. So it depends on the company how they want to collect the data from. So you have to define the data immediately whenever you are setting up the indicator. The next thing you have to identify is, what is the measurement, how you are going to measure it. So in this case, on a scale of 0 to 10, because it's a customer, so you are asking the customer to scale your performance on 0 to 10. Means 0 to 6 means not good idea, not a good. 5 9 to 10 means they are going to recommend to a friend, and that will define the NPS, means how many peoples will be able to give you the promoter score 9 to 10. Now the target and the target performance is 55%, means this company is saying that out of all the surveys that they do, they will be asking they will be trying to get at least 55% cases where the guest is scoring them 9 or 10, not less. And in between of this, they will not be accepting anything below that. So that is their idea of 55%, right? The source of data, how they will measure this is survey of existing customers. Then data collection frequency, how often you will be collecting the data. it's gonna be maybe, let's say, sampled 10% of our customer database, frequency on every month basis. Who is going to enter the data is going to be Ian Miller, marketing assistant. How much it will cost? There is nothing cost because you are going to sell it, send the email. There is no cost of it. Is it the complete indicator? It's provide us with a nice example, but the data is not structured. Is need to be supplemented with the unstructured feedback, means about any what is particular goods. Because if the customer is telling you that they like the services, but they don't tell you what they like, is meaningless also, right? So then, as a part of the process itself, we are identifying if this KPI is complete, is it giving everything that we want to know or not. If it's not, then you have to have another method to collect the information. Then is it, what if there can be any consequences or like misuse of this data? So can say people could possibly influence customers before they take the survey to fill up the good score. Because if, let's say, you are using this customer net promoter score for the bonus or for any other evaluation purposes, then the peoples may talk to the customer and say, hey, please, can you give me the full score or not, right? So that's the unintended consequence. People may go and do it. So this is a way of defining the KPIs, individual KPIs, one by one. So is means you have to define maybe multiple KPIs. If you are doing a balanced scorecard, you will be defining 2 to 3 KPIs in each of the area, and then in each of the perspective, and from those perspective, you will be identifying and selecting the strategic goal and also the indicators. So the first thing is the strategic goal, right? And then you will be identifying the indicators based on your strategic goal. So one strategic goal can have multiple indicators as well. For example, grow our profits. So the profit is grown by two parts. One is higher sale, one is lower cost, right?
Cost reduction, yeah.
So you can, the same indicate same strategic goal can be achieved by two separate indicators. In this example, we are growing the profit by, we are just looking at the net profit, but there can be another indicator is increasing the revenue and reducing the cost instead of just looking at the profit, right? So that can be a different method, which is maybe more indication of how well we are doing the things. So this is the so when you are defining the data, you are making it clearly understandable that how you're going to monitor it, what is going to be the measurement, who is going to measure it, how it will be collected, how often it will be collected. For example, in this case, this example is saying we will collect a weekly. Now, maybe if you are using a ERP or a real-time system, you can collect the profit and loss weekly. Some companies, even monthly can be difficult because they may not be even closing their P&L on monthly basis. They may be doing it on a quarterly or a 6 monthly basis, or they want to monitor only on a yearly basis, right? So that's the idea, that the when you are developing your so what this will give you is what kind of information you are needed. So that is coming here, what kind of source of data you are needed, how often you are going to need that, and who is going to do the data entry. So this will give you a very good idea of your business intelligence system, which you need to develop in order to get the business intelligence system up and running, which is aligned with your balance scorecard and your vision mission. And otherwise, you may develop the systems, information systems, which are not useful for your objectives, or you may be missing on system which may you should be collecting but you are not collecting. So that is the idea of the KPI. So now your turn was that this is gonna be the one of the assignment that I will give to create a balance scorecard for your company. You can define, and then from those objectives, the one that we have designed, the in the balance scorecard, you will need to develop this template. I will give you the, I will upload the word template, the word, sorry, not the word, the PDF template so that you get the questions, and then you will need to develop this for those balance scorecard items so that you have an idea which source of data you will be using. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, no, good, bad, very bad.
I think balance card can be enough.
No, the balance card will not be enough because it just only have the broad indicator. It will not help you to understand the how you are going to collect the data. And the more important
Balance
part
card,
is how you are going to collect the data.
Mr. Manish, balance card will only help to balance us
That's
for
right.
assignment.
No, balance scorecard is
Okay, so,
easy.
so
Just
very
So
easy to define because a group has already defined the objective, so we just have to put it there
yeah,
to make a scorecard.
that's right.
So it is very easy to do.
It's easy to do.
Actually, when you have,
okay.
yeah, actually, when you have this kind of thing, it's easy for the management purpose as well.
Yeah, yeah. So the key challenge will be on developing the indicators and identifying